When it's in town, he always comes around, Cello and Goodfellow, always.
I was very surprised at my birthday party this year. I didn't expect nothing like that. I just thought it was Channel 13, and the lights and the stuff like that that attracted a big crowd. Bob was in town recording Desire.
He'd been trying to record the Desire album and it wasn't working out. Every so often, he'd say, hey man, we got to get together, we got to do something someday. And people always say that in the music business, and yeah, sure, it'd be nice, you know. And one day he just called me, just like that, man.
One night I came to Folk City to see Sammy Walker. I look in the audience and there's my old friend Roger McGuinn from the Byrds. Then I said, hey, you know, I hear Bob's been hanging around in the Village a lot. Let's go check out the other end. And that same night I mentioned to him, you know, by the way, there's going to be a surprise birthday party for your old friend Mike Porco. And Bob said, yeah, when is it going to be?
Mike Porco's birthday was his 61st birthday.
Oh my, that's right, I forgot, man. Thanks for reminding me.
So Bob has in mind of filming this entire birthday party. But it's still a surprise party.
He said, well, we're going to have a bunch of people come down to Folk City and we're going to listen to them and see what's going on.
We tell Mike that we're doing a PBS documentary. So Mike just thinks that all these lights and everything are part of this documentary.
And of course, he was already filming Ronaldo and Clara. Some of those scenes are there.
You called Folk City to talk to a bartender about it, or?
I remember that night I coordinated with Bob, I guess who was behind the bar.
What happened was I was working the door that night, and he called this Sloman, whatever his name was, and he said to me that Dylan was coming down to celebrate my father's birthday, and he's also going to start Rolling Thunder tour, and part of celebrating my father's birthday, and the tour was going to coincide. And he said to me, just don't let anybody know. And I didn't. The word got out, and that place was the most mobbed I've ever seen, that place.
And so every folkie in the Village, from the past and present, was there because they knew something was up.
I had met Dave Van Runk over the summer in Chicago one night, and then I went back to New York, and I was in the Kettle of Fish, and he came walking in. And I walked over to him and I said, hey, remember me? And he said, I remember you. You're the guy who got me so drunk I couldn't do my gig the next night. And then we walked, he said, I got to go around the corner. Why don't you come with me? And I didn't know anything about that going on. So I joined him, and we were walking down the street, and we ran into David Blue first.
David Blue called me. I was in Woodstock. Get down here, you gotta check this thing out. So I came down. I brought Patti Smith down. Bobby Newirth was there.
Apparently it was Dave's annual ritual that on Mike's birthday he would go over there, Mike would buy him a shot, and he would down the shot, wish him a happy birthday, and hit the road. When he saw David Blue, he said, something's up. I don't know about this.
There were rumors. There was nothing specific.
Van Runk said, I'm not sticking around for this. So he bailed. But he said to me, you should stay. You should just stick around and see what happens. You could learn from this. I wasn't really sure I knew what he was talking about, but it became clear as the scene developed, you know.
Oh man, what a scene!
And the bar was so crowded you couldn't even move. And all of a sudden when Dylan came in, it just opened up. And like he walked through like it was made for him, like a god. And he walked through and he came all the way around and he sat right by the stage.
You could tell something was up. There was something in the air. All you knew was Bob Dylan is sitting there listening to all these people, and they're all whispering to each other and taking notes. And there were paying customers.
I never met Bette Miller before. I liked her.
At the time that everybody showed up, I think the opening act still had another set to do, so they actually were there listening to an entire show. If I'm not mistaken, it was Jack Hardy and Nancy Lee Baxter, I think, was the opening act. They waited for the main show to be over, and then they took over the stage.
I didn't see Bob when they came in. And I look around and see Jack Elliott, Joan Baez, Bette Midler, 15 at least well-known people. And I felt like I could have cried then. Ratso and Porco were standing stage left, as Joni Mitchell and Richie Havens scamper by to join the throng. "Joni," Ratso stops her and grabs Porco. "This is Mike. He owns Folk City. Bring him up there with you." "No, no," Mike starts to retreat, but Mitchell laughs and grabs one arm, Havens the other, and the old man gets pulled onto the stage.